and a little bit of chicken fried.
So as I've said in the previous video on this playlist, I had a bit of morbid curiosity, and if you've all missed the Bad Movie Mondays, well, this is it. This is essentially the replacement. Nothing has changed in that regard because we're still wasting brain cells on crap like this. And episode 3 of The Last of Us in a nutshell was freaking boring. Oh my god, woe is me, I said the thing. I said that the boring show was actually boring to me. They're gonna get me now, freaking pancake giraffe eating gorilla butt stuffing bitches. Funny how they start off the episode. Tommy, Joel's brother, is hurting a lot because obviously he lost his brother. He's another oppressed victim of the writers. And we're getting a lot of dead air in this episode, honestly, because I guess they're trying to make it nice and quiet so people can interpret this flawed notion that they're being reverent over Joel being killed off.
It's okay. You're in the hospital.
I hit his shirt.
I don't know if you guys have been around my channel for a while when I used to do dumb movie Mondays and all those bad movie reviews. Remember when you'd see the monsters? Remember when I would do those reveals and the monsters were so agonizingly and badly done? Remember the earth-shattering rage it would elicit from me? That's what seeing this character's face does to me. Why is she crossing her eyes like that?
It's okay.
Fucking god, it makes me so damn mad I want to drive my heel through the screen. She looks so fucking stupid. Ooh. And it's not just because it's her. Maybe it's a pet peeve of mine. You know, the noises and the things that just make you, like, some people, their pet peeve is hearing my voice. I don't blame you. I really don't fucking blame you. Everyone has their pet peeves. There's some people whose vibes just off from you, and I completely get it. That's how I feel about seeing this type of face. I don't know what it is she was trying to achieve here, but it looks so bad. Remember how at one point I said she was a really good actress? I take that back. I honestly don't know what it is I'm looking at, but it instantly put me in a bad mood, and I know I was already in a bad mood because of the show. But I hate the freaking, I forgot what it's called, the ahegio face or whatever. When people do that, that's one of those things that make me, you know how that guy was gagging when he was telling the story? That's the kind of thing that it elicits out of me. Instead of it making me gag, it makes me really freaking angry. It's almost like someone has a freaking switch in my body that activates when I see faces like that. Fucking bite my fingers over here, how fucking mad I am. Anyway, and by the way, I just thought I would segue into this or expound on it in case somebody missed it. Those of you who are here who for some reason are taking it personal that people don't like this season of The Last of Us while completely disregarding that a lot of us, like me, like the first season, and your only cope is, man, you used to be fun. I miss when you used to do fun reviews. Oh my god, clutch my pearls. I don't know where you've been, but check back a few years back. I was doing the same stuff, bro. I was doing them with the Asylum movies, the Sharknado crap, and I was doing them with a bunch of other things. So now, based on that, we actually know who watched my channel and who didn't, claiming, oh, I miss when you used to do this because you actually didn't used to watch my channel. Because getting enraged at badly written stuff or stupid movies or dumb shit that characters do or poking fun at shit is something I have always done. Even if the movie is good, I will still poke fun of it. Look at the freaking Dune review I did. I said I liked that movie, but because I was poking fun of it, people got mad for some reason. It just so happens that this is a show and it legitimately deserves all the flame it's getting because unlike those Asylum movies like Sharknado and Velocipaster and the countless other things in Land Before Time that I used to do the same type of reviews about, do some fucking fact checking, this show seems to be taking itself very seriously. Or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, because I used to think those Asylum movies were taking themselves seriously too. Now apparently, based on what all fans of that type of content were telling me, it was a money laundering thing or people were doing them bad on purpose, whatever, regardless of whether or not it wasn't. It is still shit. And this character elicits the same level of rage for me as something like this does. By the way, yeah, 5 years ago. Oh my god, this was so worth it. I don't even know how to feel. That was me dying slowly inside, by the way. It got to the point where it made me so fucking angry, I had no choice but to laugh. Or this. I mean, it just gets ridiculous.
Tell me they prepaid.
So you have an idea of what kind of movie we're working with here. It's not even funny, it's just bad. Like cringe bad. Like they're trying too hard to be funny and it's failing. Like they're trying to do comedy to make up for the fact that their movie is bad. They're using it as a crutch to hide behind it, except it's not funny. It's just stupid. Or this, and stopping it from going all the way down.
It's a reptilian predator. I tried to tell you that. Literally a hyper-accelerated growth rate. Capable of anything. It's genetic free. Hey, pal, this is what I just heard. Blah, 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 blah.
This is what I'm seeing. Nothing is chasing you.
Not for you, just go!
From what? Go where? There is nothing chasing you. Oh, I'm sorry. Did they forget to put in the animation of the snake chasing the van? Are you that low budget that you're like, we're gonna chop off 75% of the chase scene and leave the rest for like later because, reasons? Notice how they are all still panicking and absolutely nothing is chasing them. Nothing is chasing them. Nothing is chasing you. Are you seeing something that we don't see? And you can check out the low budget movies and monster films when I stopped being a robot and actually let my personality come out and started making fun of just random shit. It has always been something that I have been doing. It's not fucking new. Anyway, this is our new monster movies now. Except that the monsters aren't who you think they are. They're the actual characters when they make faces like this.
You're in the hospital.
Oh, fucking stay there.
Are you in pain? We can give you something.
Asmodeus, Satanas, Lucifer.
What in the beluga whale? You may think I'm really insensitive, and I'm sorry. It's just up until this point, Ellie hasn't exactly been radiating affection for Joel. So we've seen that she's been closed off and cold and very horrible to him. The show, ew. Sorry, there we go. Hello, Abraham Lincoln.
Hello, my child.
The show wants to tell us she loved him, but hasn't really done the work to show that. So all of this kind of feels unearned to me, because she's treated him for all this time like dog feces on her shoe, and all we've seen of her is treating him like he's just another member of the colony. Sorry, no. Worse than that. Then suddenly we're supposed to believe she's having a mental breakdown over him because she saw him die. You could just make the argument, oh, she still sees him as her father. But if that were the case, we would have gotten a little bit more than what we got. Especially if we haven't seen the first season in a while. It still needs to feel earned. It would have been better if she had felt bad and had talked with someone saying, oh, she feels horrible about how she treated Joel and that she misses him. Or, you see her looking at the guitar that he dropped off for her. Or something like that, Then we see her have a smile on her face. And then she tries to find him and finds out that he went on patrol with Dina. So she didn't get a chance to reconcile with him, but she was on her way. That's what she was about to do. Her just saying in the previous episode that she's going to I'm just going to go patrol with Joel because she was sick and tired of being around Jesse doesn't really fill in the gaps for the supposed want for reconciliation that they were trying to set up, if they were even trying to do that, which I don't think they were because that's how bad of a writing job they've done. The other reason the scene doesn't work is because 3 months later, after Joel dies and Joel and Jesse are checking out each other's muscles, she's acting all fine and dandy, and we've completely forgotten that she's lost someone very close to her supposedly only 3 months earlier.
Colonoscopy.
Look at that.
No. Well, all right. Today's the day.
So can I just...
Almost. Just need
It was like a Pixar character in its early stages of development. Just like... Stop.
to see one more person, then you're good to go.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
As much as that's the reaction I would have every time I see this woman's face, that's exactly the same reaction I imagine everybody has when they see Ellie's face. These two together is like witnessing a black hole and a dead star orbiting each other or something. It's like putting two emotional vampires in one room.
How are you doing?
Fine.
If you say it that fast, it kind of implies you're not.
Okay.
This witch is exactly the kind of person I can't stand. If someone says, hello, how are you doing? You reply with, I'm fine, thank you. She's the kind of person that will find a reason to siphon the life out of you so she can keep a job that she's not good at and shouldn't be doing. I would have said, hey, with that attitude, but whatever.
How are you doing, Ellie?
Give me a moment. It's really complicated because, feelings.
Okay.
Explain to me how just after 3 months, it's somehow normal that Ellie is quipping about everything like this is some quirky comedy or something. I get that everything's supposed to be a joke to her and that's her thing, but it's not to us as the audience. And Joel is the closest person she's ever had, and he died right in front of her. She's only recently started to heal, so it should still feel very, very raw. And yet, throughout this entire episode, aside from there being nonstop talking, she's constantly making jokes and acting like she hasn't lost anyone at all. And yeah, there's a few brief moments tossed in to remind us, oh yeah, guess what? Remember? Just in case we forget, the character's sad. But they're like little checkpoint reminders. It doesn't feel lived in. It doesn't feel like she's actually sad.
Oh, good night.
Emotional tone with the show is all over the place. And honestly, it kind of just cheapens everything that happened with Joel. I mean, they framed it like it's supposed to be life-changing and really devastating for her, but the way that they're portraying Ellie just makes his death feel like another plot point. Move on, audience, he's dead. All right, let's go back to our regular schedule programming, revenge and badassery. Did they forget that the whole reason why she was introduced in the first place was to form a relationship between her and Joel, to rekindle his lost humanity and love that he had for his daughter that he lost, and her also finding someone who's a member of her family or someone to look up to and to love? Both of them had to open up their humanity for that, and yet she's the one person in this entire show, aside from the blood-sucking psychotherapist, that has zero humanity. Or at least that's how her character is portrayed. No depth. Ugh.
Feelings. Okay. Oh, come on, man. I've been stuck in here since... Yeah, I miss him. He meant a lot to me.
Wow. We really believe you. Oh my god. That was chef's kiss performance, Ellie. And now they're gonna do a bunch of exposition that is so unnecessary. Like I said, this show lives for doing exposition, telling us how the characters feel instead of showing us how they should feel. I mean, if this character couldn't get any more shallow. It's ironic though. The depth of her character is so shallow, yet somehow I feel like I'm drowning in it, how bad it is.
So, yeah, upset and sad.
Of course, but I was actually wondering about New Year's Eve. You two got into it at the dance. Was that the last time you spoke to him?
Yeah. When I got home, he was on the porch, and I should have talked to him, but I didn't.
Do you regret that?
Yeah, of course. But
then she tries to explain how, as you could see there with the subtitles, like they're trying to tell the audience to make excuses for her character, that your final moments doesn't define how it was the whole time you were with them. Unfortunately, all we've seen for what? Maybe not the last 5 years, but who knows, right? Don't worry, guys. You'll get the full story in the flashbacks. Just be patient. Like most people are gonna want to sit around for that after you've already killed off the character, stupid asses. But yeah, your character kind of defines you. If how you act towards someone that you love, it wasn't just something that pissed you off right then and there and you got into a spat. This was an ongoing hate campaign that you seem to have against Joel specifically, not anybody else. You even treat the bigot better than you treated him because he saved your life. Pardon the rest of us if we don't believe that this character actually loved Joel, because love would bring you back to that person, and she's a piece of shit. Maybe in the end she and Abby will be friends.
Your final moment with someone doesn't define your whole time with them.
It shouldn't, but it often does. In my last moment with Joel, he said he wronged you. Maybe bad.
What is it that he said that he did?
Well, that's the thing. It didn't really make sense. He said, I saved her.
He saved me a lot of times.
Oh, now you remember? So convenient that you remember that after he freaking takes a stake to the neck, you vampiric troglodyte.
He saved me a lot of times.
Yeah, I would think so, but that's not wronging someone.
It's weird. No idea what he meant. I don't feel wronged. Man, I wish I could have let him off the hook for whatever it was he was talking about. I guess I'll have to let myself off the hook for that.
Well, you really are doing good.
I get that Ellie's trying to be quippy in front of the psychotherapist, like she's got something to prove, or she's not trying to let anyone in, obviously as a defense mechanism, but sorry, it just doesn't help her character at all. This whole sarcastic, flippant, just generally being a little shit like she usually is makes her even way less likable. They're probably aiming for the, oh look, she's an edgelord, but she's lovable, like Deadpool. No, they're not even in the same class. Deadpool is ugly physically, and somehow he still is able to outshine her in looks and personality at the same time. I don't know how that's possible. When a character is already overflowing from the edge of being unlikable, doubling down on their smug sarcasm isn't really the move that you should make. It just makes her way harder to root for. Anyway, she hides it and she leaves. And now, oh my god, all this dead air because Joel's gone, guys. Mourn him. Look, guys, she actually is sad, even though her face only is set one way all the time. Look at all the things that remind us Joel was here. And now she gets to inherit his gun. Oh, look now, the character the character is mourning in his clothes. See, guys? See, she's sad. See, she actually really loved him. With love like hers, who needs enemies, for real? Then Dina calls her over, because now we need to start the story with the both of them talking nonstop.
I never said. I should have said thank you for all those times she came to visit.
That's okay.
They start talking about their revenge while sitting here, and this is another situation where exposition was not needed. This, I swear to God, all the content that we've seen so far with this show could have been covered in an extra season.
The dark-haired guy was Manny. The other guy was Owen.
The girl with the dark hair, the bald one. One of them's named Nora. I'm not sure which.
The girl with the braid.
Abby.
Abby. Where are they from?
I saw a patch on a backpack. Yellow triangle, wolf's head.
So Dina was just telling Ellie to be patient, right? Because she knew that Ellie would literally drag her half-dead ass out of the hospital bed to go after these people if she had told her ahead of time, because Ellie's freaking stupid, remember? And so now Dina's got all this info and a whole rundown and plans of what they're gonna do, but instead of doing anything interesting with it, like showing us something, we get the classic exposition, sit down and let me dump a whole bunch of exposition on you treatment. Instead of Jesse, it's now Dina. And if we're gonna be following Abby's storyline from here on out, wouldn't it have made more sense to actually show us some of her life, like maybe build a relationship she had with her dad before he got killed, so we actually feel something when she comes for Joel? Because right now, it just feels like this whole revenge thing just came out of nowhere. There's clearly this whole layered world behind Abby and her people, but instead of them showing us that, they have Dina drawing it out on a piece of paper. Instead of having a flashback, you could have had a tension building scene or something, or even an episode or two, and people are still making excuse for this kind of writing. Whatever y'all gotta do to cope, I guess.
Stupid it was that they didn't just join together. One of those groups was the Washington Liberation Front. Out of Seattle.
WLF. Wolf. Fucking morons. Did he say how small they were?
No, but seeing as how no one's ever mentioned them since, I'm guessing small enough for us to handle.
Who else knows?
Just us. I wasn't gonna tell anyone before you.
And then we have the rest of the scenes that just drag on with the dead space and people looking at each other and not speaking. And it is aggravating because it's not necessary. Oh my god, look, I can do a close-up shot of a container full of cookies and her stubby ass fingers and them having tension and chemistry, but oh no, they don't actually have chemistry, so that doesn't even work. I swear to god, I feel like this whole show was a bait and switch, and I'll tell you why.
Well,
I gotta think about this.
think about what? Let's fucking get these guys.
Ellie, I think that's simple. The town is still recovering. So are you.
We get where you're coming from. No, we don't get where you're coming from. I don't get where you're coming from. If it had been you, Joel would be halfway to Seattle before the sun came up.
He'd be halfway to Seattle to save my life. But when we lost people, no. We were just breaking like it was his fault. I saw that time and time again, and don't talk to me like I didn't know him. He was my brother.
Yeah, something that this mook is incapable of doing. Thinking about anyone outside of herself and her own desires. But I agree with him, not the time to attack right now. Anyways, then we get the
Why so serious?
people that have the Joker smiles carved on their faces, and I guess we're supposed to be empathizing with them for some reason. Once again, these people came out of nowhere. Who are they supposed to be? Why should we care about them? Who knows? But the way that they're introduced, it's like we're supposed to feel sorry for them because there's a kid, and they're nomads, and they're just doing what they're doing, and then they get hunted by someone and shot after some guy whistles a signal from the back. Oh no, what are we gonna do? Are they demons? I bet you these guys are gonna die.
It's the right side.
Come on, man, that side hurts more.
I noticed. Come on. Harder. Harder!
I'm too weak.
Let's go! Last 5. There it is. Okay, done for the day.
She wants to go out there and seek revenge on these people while she's in this condition. Who does she think she is? Like, seriously, she's severely overestimating her own abilities. And if she really thinks she's that badass, why do you need people to go with you? You can handle everything on your own, remember? You don't follow rules, you don't need nobody.
So what do you think?
Well, for someone who sat on their ass for 3 months, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, you're supposed to say that because she's great at everything. It's right. Validate me and then get your ass handed to you when you finally meet these people who were supposed to be veterans and militia, which you were not. Killing a clicker that is a mindless animal is a whole lot different than going up against people who are freaking trained assassins. And I think he knows this secretly, but he's probably thinking, please go bitch and don't come back. So they talk about the council, and he wants to back her, but still it's going to be majority vote. He does tell her to write down her thoughts though, because she tends to fly off the handle. So then the next day, I'm actually surprised she takes his advice.
Oh, you want to send what? You're saying 16 of our best? Well, while they're gone, who's going to be on the wall if raiders come? A wall that's barely mended, and none of you up there can promise us that all 16 will come back.
That is a good point. Sending a much smaller group makes more sense, but you're leaving your town in a questionable and vulnerable state right now while sending away your strongest people.
Forgive and be forgiven. No grudges, no revenge. And I'm not even a Christian. I've always seen the wisdom in that. That's what separates us from the raiders and the murderers.
That's why you're their prey, and that's why they can do stuff like killing Joel. The raiders and murderers are out there thriving, and once they know that you're not going to fight back, they're going to come and carve your lips off your freaking face. Maybe the time for peace is in a society where there's law. There is none here. The only law is eat or be eaten. And if you do not allow yourself to look scarier than the people preying on you, they'll continue to prey on you. This old ass man should know that. He has zero wisdom.
Murderers, our capacity for mercy. Those sons of bitches don't deserve our mercy. Well, of course they don't deserve it. That's what makes it mercy. Well, to hell with that. To hell with you for saying it, Carlisle.
Sit down.
No.
You're not on the list.
No. What the hell are we all talking about here? Whoa, it's not fair. What, we gotta forgive everybody when they show up and piss in our eye? They came into our house. They took one of ours. My God. Somebody shoots your brother. You want to take the locks off your doors?
Isn't that what Canada told its citizens when people were going and like breaking into people's houses? To leave the car keys on the doorstep because they just want your car, so just give it to the thieves. That was wild. Like, someone said that who actually lived there, another YouTuber, and I didn't believe them. I had to look it up and fact check it, and yes, it is an actual thing.
To prevent the possibility of being attacked in your home, leave your fobs at your front door. Because they're breaking into your home to steal your car. They don't want anything else. A lot of them that they're arresting have guns on them, and they're not toy guns, they're real guns. They're loaded.
So instead of arming the citizens to protect themselves, you're basically telling them to give up. Because you can't protect them either, apparently. So give up their means of protecting themselves so the criminals can just come and take their stuff. At that point, where do you think that they're going to stop? You think the criminals are going to see people putting the fobs on the doorstep and say, you know what, thank you, this is so kind of you. I won't come back and violate your wife or your children or take everything else since you're just giving your stuff away for free. Fucking dumbasses. And people are okay with this. They're okay with boiling in the pot for a long period of time. And their excuse is,
This is fine. I'm okay with the events that are unfolding currently.
so that's what Gramps over here is getting at. And that makes sense, as uncomfortable as it is to hear it.
Grow up, you idiots. They'll come back. They'll come back because we didn't make them pay. And when they come back, they'll be laughing. They'll all deserve it. Bunch of goddamn victims.
And the funny thing is, Ellie feels exactly the same way, but because she doesn't like that guy, because he called them the D word that some lesbians call themselves, she's going to go out of her way to not agree with him, even though she agrees with him.
More people and resources, and at the worst possible time. And I want everyone to know, it's not because I want revenge. It's not. It's not about revenge.
Keep telling yourself that.
What I want is what you used to give people. I want justice.
We need justice! Justice! We need justice!
This woman is so full of herself. It's not about revenge. It's not. I don't want to be like what Seth said. I'm not like him. Like, girl, they go hand in hand. At the core, they both come from the same place. Somebody did something unforgivable, and now there's a price to pay. She's just freaking lying to herself. She's not some noble person. She's pissed. She's grieving. I mean, we've seen that much. And she wants to make that person suffer the way that she was made to suffer, even though I don't really believe she's suffering. And that is revenge, no matter how you dress it up. Justice is just revenge with better PR. And she's right about saying that people won't lift a finger to help them, so they have to do it, which is exactly the same thing that Papa Seth over there was saying. Hate him or love him, he's not wrong.
What it takes to see that justice is done. Not for me, not even for Joel. I am asking you, please, do it for us.
She's saying all the right things, but she doesn't mean it. She wants to do it for her. She doesn't give a damn about all those people. And we know she doesn't, because she has no problem putting people like Dina in danger and bending or straight out breaking the rules to make herself feeling better, even when she had nothing to grieve over. So the council votes no overall. And I was laughing because my husband said that he looked like Bruce Wayne, and I'm like, how? He looks nothing like Bruce Wayne. And then he showed me a picture of the cartoon. Oh, sorry. Wrong picture. Yeah, this was it. With the cane and everything, he really does look like him. They do look uncanny. What in the world? Why is Bruce Wayne so old in this picture anyway? But yep, he's angry, Dina's sad, and we all know they're gonna go out there and do what they want anyway. Why do they keep showing this woman so much? Was she a character from the games? Because she's so uninteresting. I don't see what her purpose is in the story. She does nothing for it whatsoever.
I spotted you in the crowd at the meeting today. Yeah, and I thought to myself, she's probably been extra busy these last few weeks.
Tommy, why do you think so? She's probably stealing people's marijuana and telling them how sad she feels and that their problems are insignificant compared to hers. Oh wait, I wonder if that was only for Joel. Never mind then.
Brutal. I'm supposed to see a shrink myself, to process it all. I'm the only one here.
Are we supposed to believe that they had nobody else available to fill her spot or to do the job that she does? As far as we know, based on the job she did with Joel, there's a very low bar set there. I'm sure not everybody at the settlement is an engineer or a carpenter or what have you, but people make do based on what they're good at or the skill set that some of them naturally have. Pretty sure out of all the people that are there, there's someone who can sit and listen to people's problems and who is good with people and analyzing them. She's not that special, but yet we're supposed to pretend that she's some grand wizard or something that holds the answers from heaven on high to help people fix their ever-growing problems. She ain't that good if she couldn't fix Ellie for all the time she's been there.
You do then?
Oh, well, I'm an alcoholic. I smoke as much weed as I can. Complete fucking disaster. But you're not here because you're worried about me.
Of course not. Nobody's worried about you. Your character is insignificant and disgusting and nasty.
You see things others don't. I'm nervous she's gonna do something stupid.
She sees things others don't? Where did you get that? She just said that she's a drunken and alcoholic, and you think somehow she's firing in all cylinders? This is an example of telling and not showing, by the way. If I said showing, not telling before, I'm sorry. I meant telling and not showing, right? Because he's telling us that she sees things that others don't, but they're not actually showing us this. The only thing she's shown us is things and behaviors that basic people are able to do. So unless she has some kind of supernatural power that we're not aware of, I wish they'd stop doing this. She's not that freaking special, and she's even admitted it. At least she's being honest that she's not doing that great of a job. And I have the feeling that if someone were to be positioned over her for her to talk to, she'd feel insulted or something and not want to put herself in a lower status of power and talk about, oh, I have 50 years on you and I've been doing this a long time. I've seen people like her. I can guarantee that's what would happen. Unless, of course, the person validates her.
What, you didn't believe her speech?
Did you?
Of course not. She's a liar.
Well, there's a difference between lying and being a liar.
Oh, I know. And that one? Liar. It was maybe one person she told the truth to. He's...
And here her fake ass is pretending as though she's sad about Joel, when you're one of the reasons the man probably felt horrible about himself in the end. And you clearly know nothing about Ellie and his relationship, so how do you know she fully told him the truth? If Ellie actually loved him all this time and was acting like an asshole to him, then she was lying to him this whole time by not admitting that she cared about him, or she only cared about herself and wanted to make him suffer, which would mean her claiming that she loved him was a lie. Now that she's at the settlement, doesn't need his protection, she didn't need to do jack to help that relationship, right? Either way, her actions are not matching up. And it actually takes one to know one, and this woman was lying to Joel's face the entire time during their sessions, which she admitted before she was finally honest and is like, yeah, I'm gonna say the thing I want to say.
Yeah, I should. No, maybe a little more than that. I hate you for it.
Nobody gives a damn.
Tommy, I get it. You inherited her. And you want to keep her out of trouble. Take it from a psychotherapist of 40 years. Some people just can't be saved.
Glad she said that, because I do agree that Ellie is probably one of them. You can't save someone who doesn't want to be saved either. So anyway, Dana comes by because they're all ready to leave, or well, she's ready to leave anyway. But she lies to Dana saying that she's going to bed, but Dana calls her out in her bullshit. She mentions, yeah, you ain't got no plan, dude. And we see what everyone knows, which is that Ellie doesn't know what she's doing, which doesn't shock me in the least.
Well, better not land weird on an ankle or get a fever on your well-charted path northwest. Okay, so what am I supposed to do?
I like how those are the only dangers that she mentions. That you never bring up the other thing, which whatever.
Stay off the highways, stay clear of cities or settlements. First stage is through the National Forest. Once we're out, we'll follow the Snake River Canyon, then break off through the Snoqualmie Pass.
Snoqualmie?
Yeah, Snoqualmie. Look for Seattle from the east, then reassess based on what we find. Provisions. Travel light but smart. Winter coats for beds, jackets for blankets, first aid kits, batteries, bear spray.
So here's something you're gonna notice throughout their little adventure that you probably noticed from season 1 and season 2. The clickers and the danger of this being a post-apocalyptic world are so few and far between. It's almost like you can forget there are monsters in the world. You know, they gave us the small reminder in the beginning, but just like in The Walking Dead, they not only bait and switched us by using the main character just to kill him off later, they also bait and switched us by making it seem as though these people are trying to survive in an era that's almost impossible to survive in, especially given that if you step on a spore or a tendril of the cordyceps, then it could bring these things from all over.
Coats for beds, jackets for blankets, first aid kits, batteries, bear spray. Now, handguns. What are you bringing? That Joel's? That's what you're gonna kill him.
Fucking right.
I'm saved for that. Slow and kicks like hell.
Notice I did speed this up a bit because damn. So maybe they're trying to foreshadow this here, and honestly, throughout this entire spiel of them prepping and doing whatever, it's extremely boring. It's extremely boring, hence why I had to speed this up. And none of these characters are the least bit interesting enough for me to stop yawning for a whole 5 seconds. It's wasted space, both of them. No, it would be one thing if they had the pizzazz or personality to keep me rooted. As an example, I could watch Deadpool or Missy from Doctor Who and watch them talk or plan or do the same scene, and I would be rooted to my seat because it's interesting to watch them and listen to them speak.
Missy, we'll get sucked out.
You and me together, off we go. Let's make jam.
You could chuck a stone down or something.
Oh yeah, good idea. 20 feet.
Just for that, I want to go over and watch those Doctor Who episodes with just her in them. I could watch a whole compilation with just Missy, man. 20 feet. But this, like, and if you think that the episode gets better, it doesn't. I hate to say this, but for the people saying others should just be patient, ¿por qué? Tell me why exactly. You don't know if there's gonna be a payoff, and if the showrunners are doing the bare minimum to keep you hooked and keep you coming back for the next episodes that are basically an hour long, mind you, an hour of your life that you're not going to get back, why should you bother? As I've said before, I'm watching True Blood. My husband said it was a really good show, and he has me sitting and watching it. And I think this thing has like 7 seasons, and even though it has its writing issues and character inconsistencies and a lot of annoyances, one thing that I could say about it, and the other old TV shows that I'm going back and watching, is that they keep you rooted. I've been binging through the entire thing. We're on season 5 right now, and we've been watching this for about 2 weeks. And there are new shows coming out, and that's a thing. I want to watch that. I want to watch True Blood, not the new shows. This is what I look forward to the most because of the cliffhangers and the characters and the stories. Even though I hear it has a very lackluster ending, I still want to look. I can't help to see what happens. Every time they end an episode, they leave you wanting more and more and more and more. It's addicted, like V, I know. Even though it has issues with there being too many characters, at least you have enough of the characters that are interesting, that if one of the main characters dies off, I will stay to see where the story goes. If Suki dies, even though she's the main character, sort of, I'll still watch for Eric Northman. I'll still watch for Jessica or Jason or Lafayette. I'll still watch for Tara. Don't really care for Alcide or Sam at this point, even though I like Sam more than Alcide because Alcide's a freaking hypocrite. And even though Luna is annoying, I still like her character. I still feel bad when something happens to her, and I want to see where things go with her daughter. That's the thing. There are so many interesting characters, and the world feels so lived in that even though it's kind of bloated, it's still really intriguing, and I can overlook its flaws because it keeps me entertained. This show is old as shit and yet has better writing quality than whatever the fuck this show is supposed to be. It's almost as though they made The Last of Us for grandmothers or something, because I honestly don't see how any person my age range or the younger generation is supposed to have the attention span to sit here for almost a godforsaken hour for most of these episodes watching people talk and watching close-ups of their badly structured faces.
Everything else is what you'd figure except this. Boots. Love the Converse. Respect your consistency, but you're not crossing open country in fucking Chucks.
I've done it before.
No Chucks. Questions.
Yeah, one. How the fuck are we gonna get all of this?
I know a guy.
Oh no. No, don't tell me you told Jesse, please.
Captain Wyoming? No. I love the man, but he's a little uptight about rules and shit. Wear all the clothes you're gonna bring. Fill your pockets with ammo. Everything else needs to fit inside.
So I showed you that clip to show you how much talking is going on, and I'm cutting this up so I can comment on it. And they're still talking for a good minute after this.
Hey. Thank you.
Yeah, you could have just asked.
No, I actually didn't know that.
Jesus Christ, this is so uncomfortable. Again, this is sped up. And is it just me, or do these two have zero chemistry? They keep shoehorning in all these forced relationships into the story, and the only ones who've actually had believable chemistry were the random gay couple from that one episode in the first season, and they weren't even relevant to the damn plot. So Dina brings Shimmer and old man Bruce Wayne, and Ellie's reaction is freaking wild, like how she interacts with the guy. Because despite how much you dislike this guy, because he was an asshole, it's not like he's the only one filling that slot of how much of an asshole he can be. Gramps is still coming out here to help you and trying to make amends. It doesn't excuse him for the things that he said, but at least now he's trying to be a literal ally to you. And you know that from how he outspoke in the meeting where they all voted against your interest. And yet she's deciding to make this kind of a big deal, almost as though the writers feel like they have to consistently make the character hate him so they themselves don't seem like bigots. Then what was the reason that you wrote that into the character in the first place? But it's funny how this character who turned out to be intolerant to same-sex couples has grown as a character and has dropped his ignorance, while the main character that we're supposed to be rooting for continues to stay stagnant in her character development. It's like she functions as an obstacle around all the other characters she works with, including Joel. Which, now that I think of it, I don't even know why I'm surprised, because that was literally her role from the inception of the franchise. She functioned as Joel's obstacle and then a plot device to heal Joel from his brokenness as a result of him losing his daughter as she died in his arms. So it's kind of hard to take the plot device and now make it the main character and expect it not to continue functioning as the plot device. So I guess you can say that they're staying consistent with that at least, which I can't even say is a win, because not really working for the show. She's so forgettable that outside of her disgusting personality, the character that stands out most to me in this is Jesse, and he's barely on screen. There's a character that they could use that has potential. He's way more likable, and it would actually be great to see an Asian man take center stage without getting his head bashed in when it comes to a show like this. I mean, yeah, we have Invincible, but even in that, with his name being Invincible, he's still getting the shit beat out of him every time we see him. And outside of Asian dramas or random shows like Beef where the Asian guys are seen as thugs or delinquents, we kind of got nothing. It's either that or the movie or show has to be full of Asians, but maybe I'm ignorant myself. Can you name me a show, a live action show where there's multiple ethnicities of people where an East Asian man is at the lead? Exactly how many of them are out there? Because honestly, I don't know. Oh, and he's not weak. That's another one. And he's not doing freaking kung fu. I almost wish someone would rewrite the show and tell it from the point of view of Jesse. And let's say they were going to replace Dina with Jesse or something, right? They would find a way to have Ellie overshadow him somehow, or have him constantly validate her about how badass she is. The thing is, this writing is so weak that even if Jesse were the main, it probably wouldn't be enough to save the show. Still, when it comes to personality, it might have made things a little bit more engaging and fun to watch on screen.
Mean anything? She was probably just trying to make you jealous. It didn't mean anything. It didn't. I wouldn't do that.
I'm screwing with you, man. I already know. I don't care. Come on, get dressed.
The worst.
It's kind of fucked up you did that, though.
Trade. It's better. Trade.
Come on, bitch!
Anyway, he offers to help them, and you would think Ellie would be appreciative of this, regardless of whether or not she likes him, because she could use all the help she can get.
How'd you get her out?
She needs night watch at the stables. She's sympathetic to our cause.
Our cause?
You're the one who gave the us speech, not me.
Yeah! In your face!
See, the supposed bigot is more interesting than the supposed main character, and I'm not even going to call her that past this point, and if I do, please correct me, because she's not the main character. She's the side character, or the plot device masquerading as the main character. Dina is the plot device for the plot device to fall in love with, so we get some drama and forget that this is actually a post-apocalyptic thriller type situation. And during this episode, it's going to feel as though they've completely forgotten what tone the show is supposed to be setting. At the very least, after a long wait, we do see them shaking hands, which must have been very painful for Ellie to do. I can imagine she probably thought she was going to set herself on fire by touching this man. Then, of course, they gotta stop and visit the cemetery for Joel so we can be reminded that Ellie is human and she actually likes Joel, because otherwise we would know based on the way she was treating him. They have to show her crying every now and then or looking somewhat type of sad, which is very hard for her to do. It just takes a lot, just so we're reminded that she has feelings, or kinda, sorta does. Remember, guys? Remember that she cared about Joel. Remember? All of this makes sense because she cared about him a lot. Remember? It makes complete sense. She cares about him. She's crying over him. See, guys? Did she now? The thing is, Dina had also told her at an earlier time that apparently she loved Joel too.
I loved him too, you know.
Did you know?
That's cute, but they should have showed us that. All that ended up happening was Joel told the therapist how Dina treats him, and we didn't see much of it. We only saw her come up and ask him how to teach her how to do some electric work on something, and she poked some fun at him for getting therapy, which I thought was in poor taste. And then we get Joel telling the crackhead therapist how Dina treats him.
I mean, everyone can tell. Now that one treats me like a human being. She talks to me, says hello, gives me a smile, looks up to me, makes me feel like I'm a good guy, which I am. See, Dina understands me, like she's my kid or something.
More telling and not showing. Where was the relationship? That should have been built up between those two. We should have seen that between them instead of him telling the audience and the therapist that we should believe that Dina loves him because of this one little interaction we see them having. And all of that would have made sense when Joel got captured before Dina got put to sleep, why she would have been freaking out. I mean, aside from being afraid, which she didn't really do a great job at acting out, by the way, would have made sense why Dina said that she loved him in the first place, because otherwise I would not have picked that up. I would not have known that she loved Joel. Even in this scene, hearing her say it, I still don't believe her, and I sure as shit don't believe that Ellie does either. We get some passage of time, which is fine, but placing all these drawn-out cinematic shots on top of the boring, non-eventful, shallow dialogue that we get in between the very shallow written characters, it feels like a freaking slog. The only thing I really get out of this is seeing the horse, because I love horses, and that alone is the only thing I'm interested in, not the actual characters.
Okay, so F. Fleetwood Mac. Nope.
What? I mean, no, it's my opinion.
Yeah, well, your opinion is wrong because Frank Zappa exists. Okay, so G. Green Day. Nope.
See what I mean? What I would have loved to see, even though they have to deal with this long, tedious adventure, is to see Ellie actually deal with Joel's loss. But then again, he meant nothing to her. She's quite okay, and from sunup till sundown, she's been quipping jokes, and I'm not saying she has to be sad all day long, but for crying out loud, when I lost my dog 3 months, I was still a wreck. Now granted, I wasn't going out there and trying to seek revenge, which is what Ellie is doing. She died in my arms because I put her to sleep because she was old and having health issues, but it still haunted me. Even today, remembering it, it still haunts me because I loved her so much and she was my baby. Maybe it's a different dynamic with Joel and Ellie, but if you're trying to make me believe that this person loved this other person wholeheartedly and they haven't had the time to really sit with their grief and we didn't watch them sit through it, why are we supposed to believe that the character cared anything for the character that just died? It just seemed as though they got rid of Joel as convenience, or at least what they thought was a convenience, but all they ended up doing was shooting themselves in the foot and making their show boring as shit.
Holy shit, that came on fast. How the fuck did you know that was gonna happen? I'm a witch. Clearly.
And then this entire scene turns into some weird romantic drama between Ellie and Dina, where they're talking about the freaking kiss from that other night, and Dina's saying she's straight and Ellie is gay, and Dina's all like, oh my god, rate my kiss from like 1 to 10. And I don't even know if I should even bother showing it, because honestly, it's so freaking cringe. This whole scene was so boring. If this is what you wanted to do with the show from the beginning, why not just do that? You know what this was? I can't speak for the game, but the way the show is being directed from a writer's standpoint, because I am a writer, I can actually say that now that I've officially sold books and they're doing well, that it felt as though halfway through this franchise, someone took over the franchise, or it could be the original person, don't know, and they decided that they wanted to change what this whole thing was. And they said, you know what? Wouldn't it be cool if I shipped these characters? Wouldn't it be cool if this became a romance story? I want to do that now. And instead of pinning down that idea for later and continuing on with this story and starting that story or starting to at least construct the outline for that story for later on, you just change the story that you're currently working on to make it now that. And what's going to happen is that the people who were on board for the original theme or genre are going to be like, what the hell is going on? Because just, no. It's almost as bad as you reading a sci-fi book, and there's some romantic elements in there and stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's not about that. And then the second book comes out, and you're waiting for it to continue on with the two main characters, and then the main character just dies off, like what they did with freaking Trip from Enterprise. I'm sorry, it's an old-ass show, and I'm still mad about that, but let's just pretend that episode didn't exist, because dude was blowing cocaine up his ass when he wrote that ending. I don't know what the hell that was, but anyway, I'm still mad about that. Pretend that didn't happen. But yeah, the character dies off in the stupidest way possible. And then the supporting character goes on a journey to find themselves and find some love interest that there was no buildup for, by the way. Like, that she's just dropped in there. By the way, she has a crush on this person. That's it. Now they're instantly in love. No buildup to it. No tension. No nothing. And now the story now becomes a rom-com and a walking simulator for the most part. How pissed off would you feel? Because that's the vibe that I'm getting from this. I want to write a lesbian love story set at the end of the world, because that would be cool. And whereas people would have been like, okay, sure, why not? Maybe only a niche group of people, because maybe the majority of people are not really interested in that. Because let's be serious, that group is a minority. And even among the LGBT group, lesbians are not the majority of that group itself that's already a minority. So now they're pissed because it feels as though you didn't have the faith that it was going to do well enough on its own. So you trick people by making it about one thing and then switching that after you've gotten the audience. Almost like you're now trying to force the audience into this, and it feels disingenuous. And the truth is, if they had tried to do this with this level and lack of writing talent, it probably would have flopped on its own anyway, regardless of what orientation the characters are. If you build it on just that relationship alone, I'm sorry, and this is going to sound mean, but it's the truth. Most people are not going to resonate with that because those type of characters are kind of a minority. And I think it could work if it's done well. And it takes a lot of talent to do that. Like I've said before in my videos prior, the best lesbian show or movie or something that I saw a long time ago that wrote the characters well and that I was truly invested in and liked was this movie that I saw when I was little. And goddamn it, I forgot the name of it again, but you guys gave it to me in the last video, and I did write it down on a list somewhere, but I can't remember where that was. But it's the one where the girl pretended to be a boy, and she was in love with this girl, but the girl didn't know that but the straight girl, the blonde girl that, liked the buzz cut one, the lesbian, she didn't know she was actually a girl. So she thought it was a boy the whole time and fell in love with the boy that she thought was a boy. And there was a lovemaking scene, and the lesbian woman did not want the straight girl to touch her down there because then it would be obvious that she wasn't really a boy. So she had to make love to her using a toy, and she's like, close your eyes, and kind of tricked the girl into thinking that she was a guy, which was really hot for the movie, but actually creepy in real life. But anyway, let's just pretend, go with it. That whole scenario was done so freaking well. And at the very end, when the lesbian girl had to finally come clean that she was a girl, and she really thought, like, she was sad. You could see it in her face, like, oh shit, now she's gonna not only find out that I'm not who I said I was, she's not gonna love me anymore, but she's gonna feel betrayed, I'm a piece of shit. Like, you could see it all in her face. It was really well done. They were both great actresses, especially the one who was playing the lesbian. And the girl she was in love with, the straight blonde girl, was like, I don't care if you're an ape, I love you. And she was already in love with her, so it didn't matter that she found out that she was a girl, which I thought was really cute. Probably not in real life, that probably wouldn't happen. But for the movie, it was really sweet and cute, and I was like, whoo, that's so cute. And like, it was done so freaking well. I know you guys already gave me the title of the movie, and it's somewhere, but if you could please comment what it is again, so that other people can find it, and that I can also use it to like Control F on my lists, that would be amazing. But that is how you write a story. I'm not saying that the whole movie was great, and honestly, I was so little when I saw it, so I probably don't remember most of it, but it was good enough for it to make an impact on me as a small child. There's another one that I watched that's called Tu Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything. The relationship between Chi-Chi and that guy, the John Leguizamo playing Chi-Chi. And there were a whole bunch of drag queens, but, Chi-Chi didn't tell him the truth. He didn't want to tell him the truth. And that kind of had a sad ending because Chi-Chi knew the guy wouldn't love her when he found out that she was really a he. And so Chi-Chi gave up. I mean, it's kind of, looking back at the movie now, but it was so cute the way they set all of this up, and I was really rooting for them. I don't know. When I was little, to me, Chi-Chi was a girl.
You said a mouthful.
Let's go.
But still, still, those characters were written so well, and they felt like actual people instead of these walking husks that we see on The Last of Us right now. Like, I fell in love with these characters. Chi-Chi was my favorite, of course. And guess what? They were all likable. For crying out loud, Ellie had more personality and humanity in the first season of The Last of Us than she does in this season. I don't know who the hell Ellie is supposed to be in this season, but it doesn't feel like Ellie at all. And miss me with that whole, she had experiences and grew as a person. I would believe you, except she didn't. She regressed and became worse.
Scale of 1 to 10. No. Come on. You've kissed girls before. You're gay, I'm not. I'm just curious.
What are we talking about?
I want to know if I'm any good at it. 1 to 10.
Define 6.
Fuck you, 6. That's not bad. That sucks. For the record, I don't believe you.
Nobody fucking cares!
Where are the clickers? Where's the danger?
I am the danger.
That's what I want to know. You want a great way to grow the characters and to manufacture some actual chemistry instead of them just pretending whatever the hell this is. Even if this was a straight couple, the chemistry would be so bad, man, that all it feels like is like I'm getting radiation poisoning watching them. Have them actually run from danger. Are we not supposed to see clickers or the infected anymore? They still not a thing when people are out there in the wild? Yes, we saw them attack the Jackson settlement, but we also saw Joel's brother, Tommy, stand right there in the middle of all of them as they were running away or running around him. I mean, we're supposed to be scared for him, but they're running past him. None of the main characters actually ever felt like they were in any danger. The plot armor on him was so thick, it was ridiculous.
The fuck out of here.
Also, since when do clickers or these kind of infected sit there and just raise their arms about to claw someone instead of trying to like jump on top of them and bite them? It would have been hilarious if this thing gave him a boot to the teeth or something. Anyway, like I said, she even runs out. Tara's like, yeah, I'm vampire and I'm gonna run out in the middle of these things, and yeah. Apparently they reserved all the stakes and the danger for freaking Joel. Other than that, nobody feels like they're in danger. And as I said, there's not really any stakes. And I don't blame people who made it this far through season 2 of The Last of Us for dropping off, because this is not what they signed up for. People also dropped off The Walking Dead when there was no more danger of what the show was named after, which is The Walking Dead. And I know a lot of people might disagree with me, but wouldn't it just becomes about people fighting each other and the politics, or what would they do if this happened and that's it and there's no longer any outside element of danger aside from just that and other humans? Then what's the point? Crazy when you make a show, when you market it around people running for their lives and trying to survive from monsters, that they would lose interest when they no longer see that happening. And people can argue all they want, say it's about the people, it's not about the other thing, then why even have them there in the first place? Camp Cretaceous and Chaos Theory did a good job of juggling this and showing what people would do in a situation like this while still successfully making the dinosaurs a central obstacle and a very real and present danger at all times. How is a show that was originally geared towards kids better at doing this than actual adult works? Because Jurassic World understood that people signed up not for the humans but to see dinosaurs and people interacting in a world where humans and dinosaurs are alongside each other. It's not that hard of a concept. And Chaos Theory and Camp Cretaceous did this beautifully. And crazy, it is still mainly about the human element and their interaction with each other and their relationships. But they still have to fight for their lives and run from dinosaurs and deal with that. I hate how they're all like, don't worry guys, we'll get a few of the sprinkled in episodes of people having to kill the infected, but then we'll have them beating a horde of clickers that should have killed them and overrun their settlement, and we'll have them do that off screen, so we can't tell how they were able to successfully overcome all of the infected, despite them having way less people than there is a horde. And you want us to stay invested and rate the show well? It's almost as though what we're seeing here in the scene is what the show is about, and it's just wearing the skin of the very theme you never get to see much of anymore. But no, they expect you to sit around for 4 hours until you see something actually amazing happen. That's like bare bones entertainment. Anyway, remember the Why So Serious people that we saw walking? These weird looking group of nomadic people who like whistling for communication? Well, somebody killed them. And they now think it's Abby and her folks that did. But the little girl that was her father, yeah, she's dead too. Oh no, look how shocked I am. Crap. This is my shocked face. Gasp.
It's quiet.
Yeah, too quiet.
Curtis or Viper?
Both, in all 4 movies.
We get some more walking simulator scenes, and we get that stupid reference that they keep making, that people who never played the video games that the show was made for, by the way, are not going to fucking understand. Would have made sense if we had a lead up to that or something. If they did, I completely missed it, I apologize. But this is not the first time that they brought it up. They keep doing it over and over, then you have stupid ass people talking about, it's from the game. If you want to get it, just play the game. Tell you what, if you want to get a clue, suck my dick. I feel so bad for that horse. It's gonna be so hard on her legs.
Wow. Fucking Seattle. Pretty.
Plus, no one's shooting at us.
Plus, you traveled all the way here without seeing one clicker or one monster or infected. How lucky is that?
Oh, it's very sucky!
With everything being overgrown and the supposed cordyceps supposedly being everywhere, like we saw in season 1, if you actually sit down and even if half your brain is turned on, you'll still forget that this show was supposed to be about that. Like, they could just successfully walk with serenity through this entire landscape for days, or however long they've been walking, and not see one monster? Danger where?
Because there aren't that many wolves.
There's about to be a whole lot less.
This actor has actually gotten worse. I don't know how it's possible. Maybe everyone gave her a pass because she was a child. And so based on the fact that she was a child, based on her age, she was considered a decent actor.
Steward, in fact,
I think we've had enough small talk. Why are you here?
And all she was really doing in Game of Thrones was acting like a fucking brat, which seems to be her default. So I don't even think it was great acting. Everyone accepted it because she was a kid playing a grown-up's game at politics, but she was still a shithead, like all the rest of them. And we all liked her and gave her a pass with that because we mistook that for her being a badass. But then she proved herself when she died a hero's death. And because it wasn't really normal for a kid in that time to do that. So we were like, alright, cool. But of course, all the girls and little girls of Game of Thrones are badasses. It really is about the politics between each of them, and House of the Dragon is no different, even though I love that show, as of right now anyway. But of course, that's not really saying much. But now that I've actually reassessed, I realize that she's not that great of an actress. As someone else said in the comment section of one of my other videos in this playlist, Pascal was the best actor they had and they killed him off. I get it, he's expensive, but then why even bother to put him on in the first place? They could have chosen someone more obscure.
Curtis or Viper?
What?
Oh my god. You see what I'm talking about? For people who have not played the Last of Us game and only know the bare bones about it like me, do you understand? Are you also one of those people who get annoyed when they constantly make references to things that you're not privy to? I've seen other shows and movies do this, but they at least lay out the groundwork so we can know what the inside joke is, or reference. We see a comic book they're reading together, or we see them mentioning it, talking about the movie or the book or whatever it is they're referencing, and then they bring it back later. Did this show lay out the groundwork for that? I'm guessing no, because even fans of the game who watched the show are saying that we're only gonna get it if we played the game. So it must mean that the show didn't do it, which means it comes off sounding really freaking stupid and very annoying when they keep bringing it up. I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what a Curtis and Viper is, and I don't care. And every time I hear it, it makes me less interested and just more annoyed.
No, that was just me. I was trying to sound like a badass. You don't even try.
Ew. Yes, she does. And even when she tries, she fails at it. Oh my god, no. Not that serious. My mom used to like these old Steven Seagal movies, and for whatever reason, Ellie's character reminds me of Steven Seagal. I hated him with a passion. I hated his character because he seemed so pretentious, and he wasn't good looking, and then you have all these women falling over him, and I'm sorry, it was just really freaking cringe. It felt fake and manufactured as hell. And yes, I know it is because they were movies, but he wasn't likable. He seemed so freaking full of himself in a bad way. You know those people that try to pretend as though they look better than they do? Like, for example, there was this freaking fat neck dude. Yeah, Big Ed, that was his name. It was telling this woman that she needed to brush her teeth and shave her legs. Like, dude, when you look like that, you're the last person that needs to be passing judgment on people, especially when you can't even find a partner.
So this is mouthwash. And I got you a cute toothbrush. Just your breath is not pretty. And then I got you good toothpaste. Okay, here's the deal.
What?
Don't be mad at me, but last night when I noticed that your legs were kind of like mine. They were hairy.
What?
Yeah.
First of all, first of all.
It's different if you already have a partner or whatever, but you don't have a partner and you want this woman to stay with you. And he stayed acting like this. Nobody liked him. Him trying to come off with the same kind of energy as a guy who's much better looking than him just made him look very sad and desperate and more disgusting than people probably imagine he looks, and they're probably not imagining it. I'm sorry, but if people were to try to bend over backwards to appease him, you would know right off the bat that they're fake and full of shit and they're lying their asses off, because everyone would be thinking exactly the same thing. I might be overacting, but this is how I feel about Ellie's character. So remember this guy, he really hates Ellie, and I can imagine when he sees her again, it's gonna be a problem. Like, he has a lot of anger. I don't even know why, because she was completely innocent in that situation. But tell me why I'm rooting for this character. He's the freaking villain and he's an asshole. Or maybe he's not, I don't know. Because if we're looking from his point of view, these guys would probably look like the heroes where they come from, even though they were gonna kill a little girl like I just said. And if he's aware of that, I mean, he has to be. The surgeon was his friend's, Abby's, father. So yeah, I guess they are the villains, but that's how skewed this whole thing is. It's like those horror movies when the characters are so dumb you actually root for the monsters to take them out. Oh my god, you guys, aren't you excited for the next episode? Yay. For the people that like this, I feel so jealous. I'm glad that you're getting something out of it. I'm excited for it. No, that's a lie. I'm not excited. I love that for it. No, wait, that sounds fake as fuck. It's good that you like it, because if you are the group of people that can genuinely find enjoyment out of something like this, then you have a very special gift. Maybe my brain works too hard or something. I'm not saying that you're stupid. That sounded so freaking wrong. That's not what I meant. What I mean to say is that people will say, oh, turn your brain off to enjoy stuff like this. Not that serious. And to be honest, in this case, they're right. You literally have to do that, because otherwise you'll start asking questions like why the writing is inconsistent, why do I keep losing immersion from this world, or why you should even root for this character, or why the supposed main character is now missing, which is what we signed up for, that original main character. But anyway, I lack the ability to do that. I will admit I'm very handicapped in that regard. If you guys were paid $5, or maybe even for free, the people watching this video right now, how would you write this story? Starting from the end of season 1 of The Last of Us, how would you have written the story? I want to see what you guys come up with, because I can guarantee you, most of you out there could come up with something better or construct it better, and it come out loads more of an upgrade than what they're doing right now or the direction that they're taking. Even if they have a good ending, they've lost people because the structure is so wonky with the show and lazy and uninspired. And no amount of people trying to shame us into liking it is going to make that happen. And I'm glad to learn that it's not just me. And people trying to cope by claiming that people are just hating it because there's women in it or lesbians in it might be the very audience that this show is designed for, because the mental gymnastics that you have to go through to believe that that's what the majority of the audience thinks only ends up proving our point. Because as I've said, there's so many other works out there that have lesbians and that have women and write them well and have good stories that structure well, that have character building and that are put together well, that people enjoy, but people have selective memory, or they have very short memories, or their brains are Twitter fried where they can only lock on to one thing at a time and then it just loses all meaning after 3 seconds. But anyway, let's see in the comments what you guys come up with, what your outlines are. The whole thing just made me freaking tired watching this, but it would be exciting to see what you guys come up with.
Am I crazy for not liking the last episode of The Last of Us? I think it fundamentally fucks up two characters.